Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Tim from the Calm Compound and it's time for our daily technical analysis video. So let's get right to it. In front of us we have the Bitcoin US dollar 1-day chart and it is quite an exciting day to be honest. So let's get right to it. If we zoom in a little bit, yesterday we were talking about this bearish pattern that we were seeing and we definitely broke down. So our initial case was if this line breaks and we can confirm, then the chances are very high that we will go towards 16,000. However, what we see is today we had the first signal right here, the break, but not the confirmation yet. So today we saw a reversal back up and I am quite, it's quite a decent one for the moment because we see that this little resistance here was broken on, let me make that orange actually, was broken for the moment, for right now, and we see that we are holding decently above the support area. Now preferably we would close above 16,900 because that would be above this little minor resistance here as well. So we could also say that this support or resistance area in this case would be up to 900 actually. But closing above 16,800 is a very good start. Now, if we continue onwards and into the charts, have a quick look at the 4-hour here, we also see that there is a decent amount of interest in defending this part, because we see here this candle shows us that there were a lot of bulls who pushed back the bears, and we also see right here that they were pushed back. Also the bears or the bulls did not quite break 17,000 properly. We have a pierce, but we're not there yet. If we can consolidate above 16,800 somewhat, then it is possible to continue on to 17,000 and perhaps 17,200, 300 approximately. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. If we grab our EMAs quickly, then we see the 200 EMAs around the 17,200. So that is kind of our resistance area, our minor resistance area. And then of course, 17,600 is still the big one. There is a decent chance that we will see a consolidation area form here between, or just a trading area here between 16,700 and 17,600, which would be fine because that would mean that we're building a new base a little bit higher, a little bit off the lows for the moment. But of course, we still have 4 hours to really see where we're going to close. These are just kind of the points that we are looking at currently. Now, having said that, let us move over to Ethereum and onto the alt market. If we look at Ethereum, then we see that it is doing a little bit better. It was also in a bearish pattern like we saw here, but that is currently starting to break. If we look at the daily chart, we see that Ethereum is doing fairly well. It still has the ability of making a Bart Simpson, but in order to do that, the daily candle of today would have to move back towards that 1270, and that just does not look quite as realistic, especially as now we're, well, it could happen in the low liquidity part of the night, but if someone really wants to move the price back up. But we shall see. For now, Ethereum is doing slightly better than Bitcoin, which we can also see in the ETH BTC chart. We see that it managed to break through its bearish pattern, which is a very good sign. It is definitely a sign of strength, but we also see that like the resistance here is kind of a tough one. It's still trying to break through that. If it manages to, we could see another test of 0.076, and then we'll have like, well, since we broke under it the first, here the second, and then we'll have the third strike, meaning that this would no longer be a major resistance, but it would turn into a minor resistance because it has been tested too much, and the more you test a level, the weaker it gets. So that is kind of what we're seeing currently here in Bitcoin. And now, or in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and in Ethereum Bitcoin. So we're seeing that the alts are having a bit more space to breathe, which makes sense because the Bitcoin dominance is also kind of stagnant. It's kind of taking a little breath. It is making a bit of a bullish consolidation pattern, so it could be that we'll see another move back up, but that is not a problem as long as the USDT dominance also drops. That would be the best case scenario in my opinion, but also I'm a bit of a Bitcoin maxi. So there's that. So if the USDT continues to be rejected and moves back down, that means that relatively speaking, more USDT will be employed into stable, or not into stable coins, into altcoins, and that would, or in coins in general, and that would create more of a market impulse upwards. So that's kind of what we're looking at currently. It is looking slightly bullish, neutral to bullish, I would say, for right now, still depending on how we close. That being said, we do see that DYDX is having a bit of trouble. It did just close under that resistance here, so it could be that we still see a move back up, but ideally we would like it to close above the body of yesterday. So let's say above that 0 or 1.404. That is it for DYDX. Let's have a quick look at what AVE is doing. Not Abe, AVE. Here we see that AVE is actually doing pretty well. It's not a proper reversal, I'd say, but it is decent. And if we can close above the body of the previous candle, that would be a decent indication of potential further moving up, especially towards that 58.2 approximately, but we'll have to see how that goes exactly. ADA is having a rough go of it because it broke out of this, technically speaking, bullish channel, but it broke. With that, it broke the support like we thought it would, and now it's just kind of floating in the ether, making a decent case of falling all the way back down to 20 or 90 cents because it doesn't really have anything in between there. Right, what else do we have? We can have a quick look at Matic, which is, if I recall correctly, doing decently. It just bounced off of this support here, but it's not really making the full reversal like we would like to see, or it doesn't really manage to come across this opening bar, which makes it slightly weaker compared to the rest of the market, or compared to Ethereum and AVE, for instance. So that is kind of what we're looking at the moment. This is kind of the idea across the market, that there is a slight optimism, but we'll have to see how the market closes and how we react tomorrow. That will be the main issue. Also, around December, January, it's generally a bit less liquidity. There's less trading because a lot of funds are taking as much money out of the market so that they can increase their cash position, which would generally increase their bonus, or they want to safeguard their bonus, make sure that nothing happens to it. So there's just less liquidity in general, meaning that the price is a bit more volatile and could move more volatile. I'm a bit at a loss for words for the moment, sorry. Been a bit of a long day, which happens every now and then, so I'm not quite as eloquent, but I'm sure you catch my drift. That is kind of it for today, so hopefully it was still useful regardless, and I will see you all tomorrow as per usual. So keep calm, keep cool, keep compounding. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.